Hello, welcome to Sunday with that lovely rendition of um, something, whatever that was. The less said about it, the better. So, yes, it is Sunday. My name is Zara, and I believe in a thing called love. There's no love in the high wilderness, there's nothing but pain and suffering. Although the character that we've had so far has been doing pretty good so far. I must admit that much. So, that's something. We'll be diving back into that today. We're still in Albion. We're still kind of um, looking for, well, we're still looking for Perdurance. We haven't found the port of Perdurance yet. It's in Albion somewhere, but we haven't found it. I got a pretty good idea of where it will be, but we have to actually get out there and find it. We did find a bunch of other weird stuff. Albion is an exceptionally strange place with, among other things, a sun that drives people insane. Just not even from looking at it, just from being around it, because it has terrifying properties. There's the husk of the old sun below a graveyard. There's the ruins of Big Ben just kind of floating around. There's lots of weird stuff in Albion, and some is definitely weirder than others. But let's see if I've got it set up properly. I did it beforehand, so it should be working just fine. Hopefully it doesn't crash. There we go. Sunless Skies. Let's see where we left off. I did jump into the game a bit earlier today to figure out where we were and what we had going on and what kind of my potential direction would be. There's we have all well, okay, we have a lot of quests. Like if I pop open the journal here, we are chock full. Like our completed quests only start here, so everything above that line is still active and ongoing quests. We got a lot of them. And the rats still need to get to Perdurance, which is kind of our main thing. The princess does as well, but she's currently on shore leave, so to speak. She has a salon in London, so she's kind of hanging out here for now. Dispose of the sequencer's well-intentioned package. God, I don't even remember that quest. Work orders? No. Reflect kindness of all the needy. Deliver the well-intentioned package to London. Okay. Well, we are here. I guess we'll go ahead and deliver that care package. Upon opening your package, the orphans begin quietly and methodically distributing the food parcels and the medicine. At the governess's urging, they thank you. Okay, so last time he was going to just send like a bunch of like pamphlets or just like some equipment, but we convinced him to send food instead, so cool. we were helpful. We're full up on crew. Our hull is in pretty good shape. We're actually in really good shape right now. What do we have in our hold? We have a bunch of nostalgic crockery, which we need to deliver to the mausoleum. Okay. Things in Albion are pretty good. We've explored a good chunk of it. We found yesterday, or I guess last week, we found the Royal Society and the Home Bureau. Perdurance, I am going to guess, is somewhere in this northern region here. So we're going to head up there and do some exploring. I'll get her. I gotta go back to the mausoleum at some point, so I'll get around to there eventually. But for now, our main goal is to find Perdurance, so that we kind of know where it is. There is probably also another warp gate somewhere in the region. Maybe. I don't know for sure. But we have a transit relay that next to the Reach, and then the Reach connects both Albion and the Blue Kingdom. And I don't know for sure if Albion connects anywhere else, or if it's just to the Blue Kingdom. Or just to the Reach, rather. I would assume that each region has 2 gates, because there's four different regions. We do need to go back to the Reach at some point. Eleutheria. I don't know anything about Eleutheria. The Blue Kingdom is very small. Break open a coffin. $85. This little, like, spattering of coffins there never goes away, so every time I pass through it, I manage to grab another coffin and bust it open. Is that disrespectful? Probably. But hey. It's tough out here. Gotta do what you gotta do. I am about to crash. I gotta go around whatever this is. Can hear Big Ben still going off. Chimes much too frequently for my preference. Do I have... No. Okay. I thought I bought a tool that will let me do a saying, but I think I may have just held on to it because the drill we have gives us more cargo space, which is extremely useful. Because normally we'd only have 12 cargo space, I believe. We get 4 more from that special drill that we got. Floating Pauper's Graveyard. Yeah, just a bunch of discarded coffins. Rat Brigade pools its money for beachside snacks. Oh, hello. Is this what I think it is? This looks bright and colorful. Got 7 out of 9 locations in Albion so far. Oh, this is the Palace Pier. Workers in neat uniforms guide your locomotive to rest. Tourist engines rest alongside trading engines. Crews trade gossip and delicacies. Signs in block capitals make abundantly clear that this is a place for pleasure. Welcome to Woolberry Juxtamare. Dazzles like a Fabergé egg, lamplit, rich brass and Britain and Baroque. In the distance, carnival music mixes with faint cheering. A queue twists and snarls along the dock. Visitors are not allowed to just stroll into the port. They must be admitted. Every fortnight, the Bureau of Entertainment holds a lottery to give a number of paupers passes, which grant free admittance. The queue for these is long, but it is not the only way into the port. Fry past the queue at the insistence of the authorities. A fox-jawed man, smartly dressed in cobalt, takes notice of you. He crooks a finger. First time visiting Woolberry Juxtamare, eh? Come on, come over then. The representative of the Bureau of Entertainment introduces himself. We are a department of the Ministry of Public Decency, but we're entirely autonomous. We run this port for the benefit of the weary travelers. He leads you past a queue that doesn't even bother to grumble. Yes, yes, I know, queue jumping is terribly uncouth. But would you really rather be mingling with the proletariat when you could be enjoying our port? And I'm sure Once you've seen what we have to offer, you'll need to come back again. He leads you to a fitting station. Everyone goes through this. There's a dress code. So they wish to encourage industrious captains to patronize the port. To this end, on a captain's first visit, they are allowed in, both without charge and without having to queue. The couturier is exquisitely attired. Burgundy tailcoat, cravat, brocaded vest in iron and ink, breeches, boots, and a smile like a shark. Periodically, he checks a brass pocket watch. While his grin lengthens and diminishes in turns, he is here to supervise the attire of new visitors to the port. In Whorlbury, everyone dresses up in the heady styles of 50 years ago. The Bureau of Entertainments provides suitable attire for all visitors. What article of clothing are you going to base your choice of outfit around? It has no impact on the port. It is merely an outlet for whimsy. Ooh. So, this game takes place in 1906. So it would be the fashions of the 1850s, of which I cannot really think of any. Off the top of my head, nothing jumps out. Hat, a dress shirt, why not both? Finely tailored coat, a skirt, or maybe kilt, or bustle, or breeches. Fabulous footwear. We need a good hat. The couturier summons a pair of pale children, their stained glass eyes and a palette of emerald golds. They'll help you with anything you need, comrade. No favors too big, too terrible. I'd ask that you don't request a bladder as a hat, however. I hate training new help. He referred to us as comrade because that is the title that we chose for ourselves when we made this character. We're Comrade Bell, a former revolutionary. His assistants are as attentive as they are silent. Reverently, they offer possibilities in flattering headgear. Fascinators, bowlers, top hats, even veils filigreed with milky blue seed pearls and roses of the red of a broken heart. When you finally dismiss the children, the couturier considers you for a long moment. He turns you to a wardrobe and hands you several garments all your size. Once you're dressed, he dismisses you, shooing you into Whorlbury Juxtamare. The condition of your clothes will limit your time in Whorlbury. Your clothes are new. Huh. Interesting mechanic. It's like every other weekend destination. Shabbier than advertised and bristling with ways to spend more money than intended. Write a port report. In the face of candy floss, the guards are let down. Presented with this much tea, defenses are dropped. This should have been a good place to gather information. Unfortunately, the screams of the donkeys render eavesdropping impossible. Still, even by itself, a list of visitors is certainly worth something. The existence of nice locations draws an important contrast in the game. It's not a we're all in this together against the horror setting. It's the rich have built a wall of corpses to insulate themselves from the terror setting. Yeah, absolutely. Like, you already get quite a bit of that from just in the Reach, like with Port Prosper being very clearly segregated to, things in New Manchester being, you get bits and pieces of that. But once you get to Albion, it's like, yeah, this is where the actual rich people are, including the actual queen. And it is a neat setting, what with having, the seat of the crown in Albion, along with a giant mausoleum and also, floating coffins just kind of being discarded. It's not a great place for some people. All right. Explore a tiny lane, bedecked with shops. Path to the beach. Wander onwards. Leave for the dock. Attend an exclusive exhibition of portraits. Let's check out the shops. A macaron store. Delighted, you bustle toward the cramped stall, shouldering past an old man in a top hat. But before you can accost a shopkeeper, you realize they're actually just cardboard cutouts. Badly painted ones, too. How disappointing. Take a donkey ride. No trip to Warlebury is complete without a donkey ride. A man in a candy-striped suit bellows while his donkey drools a string of iridescent tumors. How can you resist? $3 for a donkey ride? Let's go. What an unpleasant ride. No matter how many sugar cubes you sacrifice to its appetites, your donkey insists on remaining truculent. You can't even make faces at it while it's not looking, not with its watchful halo of glittering insect eyes. You stumble from your donkey, weak at the knees, its voice still razoring against the inside of your skull. I'm not so sure that was a donkey. Let's wander onwards. May open up new opportunities. Explore a tiny lane bedecked with shops. Path to the beach. Let's take a path to the beach. This is a beach. Of course it is a beach. What else could it be? It is a stretch of pale particulates and running mists. The air smells of salt and things that mummified in the sun, of cinnamon and licorice, its pebbles and grains of blue grass, tendrils of something curious and organic, worm-like growths tufting through the sediment. This is exactly what beaches are. Let's take a walk down the beach. A segmented worm with extremely large eyes stares at you mournfully as you pass it by. It is of little import. The way the mist catch and devour the starlight is enthralling. Okay, so it seems like pretty much everything you do here ruminate on the nature of donkeys. They are very earthy animals, but where has their odor gone? The extraneous entrails they've shed, the vomit, none of it is ever anywhere to be found. 96% chance of success? I like those odds. For all the sounds that the donkeys make, for all the viscera they disgorge, all the creatures they disembowel, they seem to be remarkably sanitary creatures. No trace of their refuse is to be seen anywhere. The beach remains spotless. But there, look. A donkey is vomiting ropes of gray intestine onto the sands. Surely now bile and blood will reveal themselves? Except they don't. The air flickers, and once again everything is completely hygienic. As you become familiar with the oddities of Warlebury, more of the port will become available to you. What a disquieting location. Truly an awful place. It is time to be elsewhere, indeed. We got a lot of stuff out of that, though. Dang. 2 Tales of Terror, Sky Story, another worldly artifact, and a barrel of unseasoned hours. Yeah, let's get out of here. Your beautiful garments are nothing but rags now. Well-dressed onlookers gawk and giggle, whisper and point. You look bedraggled, shabby, and worst of all, unfashionable. So interesting. Okay, so to get back in, I either have to pay or bribe them with something. There's apparently a lottery. Prove you know the right sorts. Yeah. There's clearly something very wrong going on here. Ministry approved literature. But as of right now, we don't know what it is. So we'll have to just carrying on, I suppose. Oh, we're really close to gaining a level. Okay, Perdurance has got to be in here. I'm gonna head over there. They sell fuel and supplies here, so I should be able to loot back if I run into trouble. All I really know about Perdurance is that it is on the edge of Albion. Let's So it's got to be out here somewhere. Lighthouse. St. Anthony's Lighthouse. I'm gaining terror from it for some reason. Something stirs below. Bat friend, please find something. Something up ahead. I can barely read this. Rabbits run. What is it? Nothing that I can do here. Waste. For being like the center of the British Empire, Albion is a very disquieting place. Come on. Took a little bit of damage, but we're all right. Yeah. Well, do we need Sky Stories? We don't really need Sky Stories or Tales of Terror. Might as well just get Hall instead. We did take a little bit of a hit. But yeah, like Albion, like the Reach is basically the kind of the edge of civilization. It's like where things are, you're like at the edge of wilderness, essentially, the high wilderness. London is very much more established, but there's still very clearly like sections of the map that are different biomes, so to speak. Oh, I know that noise. I don't like that noise. I really don't like that noise. Can I travel over this? I can't. I'm gonna go away from that noise. Although I can't tell where it's coming from. Oh, it's promising. You're an authority of sorts. Bat friend? Ah. This has got to be it. Am I going to crash into this? No. There we go. A new port. Arriving at Perdurance. On approach, Perdurance looks like an opulent mansion caught partway through a genteel explosion. Each constituent set of rooms accounted for, but separate and out of place. Each is connected in a rough circle by narrow, winding passages. The steep roofs are topped with shingled turrets and precarious towers. The elegantly disassembled country house perches on top of a soot-stained, windowless factory whose chimneys belch gouts of smoke and fire. Enter the parlor. The docks face a set of polished oak doors, carved with a series of masked figures dancing in the quadrille. Is this another Devil Zone? It might be. I don't know. I don't know that much about Perdurance, other than the fact that people wanted to come here. The windows in the parlor are shuttered, the light stained with pale yellows, blushing pinks, and bruised violets. Lit with the illusion of dawn, or perhaps dusk, you see a room cluttered with stiff-backed armchairs and decorative chaise, set against savagely floral wallpaper in the shades of burgundy, violet, and Brunswick green. A portrait of the Empress, unsmiling, hangs in an ornate gilt frame. A few visitors mill about, casting speculative glances at the exasperated butler while they pretend to examine the decor. It is a jewel in the Empire's crown, where its favorite sons and daughters are pampered, protected, and preserved. The visitors are puffed up with importance and embarrassingly eager to tell you how they obtained an invitation to the half-light masque. Some through patronage or long service, others through less salubrious means. All are desperate to spend a day in the company of the glittering inhabitants of Perdurance, brightest stars in Albion's firmament. For here, the sons and daughters of Her Majesty's most important courtiers reside in eternal youth and sophistication. So it seems like this is not a double zone. It definitely seems like this is just more opulence. Talk to the exasperated butler. Yes, and he demands. He leaves through a leather-covered logbook to make clear that he is, in fact, terribly busy. What is this place? He sighs. This is Perdurance, home of the half-light masque. Here, Her Majesty has created a single perfect day wherein the finest examples of the Empire's youth may reside for all time. At the day's end, there is a grand ball. When it is over, the day is spun anew with fresh hours and all begins again. No one who resides here will age even a single day. Visitors are permitted, of course, relatives and a select few others, as long as they have an invitation, he says pointedly. How do you get an invitation to the half-light masque? If one must ask how to obtain an invitation, one probably shouldn't have it. Typically, they are granted to the relatives of residents. However, the Ministry of Public Decency may award invitations to those who have served the Empire. We also receive an unusual number of visitors from the Royal Society. An invitation permits the bearer entry to a single instance of the masque, from morning to evening. You thank him, but he clearly wishes to impress upon you the grandeur of the matter. It is a great honor to be invited here, and an even greater one to be rewarded with a residence. The Empress is most generous with her favorite servants. He gives you a sharp look and adds, and we are all her servants, are we not? Goodbye. Guess what? I got an invitation. I got one from the Royal Society last week. The portrait of the Empress swings open and a succession of brightly dressed debutantes, sour-faced chaperones, and prim servants stumbles into the parlor. They barely have a moment to rest their feet and take a sip of tea before a panel of wallpaper slides open, the dark maw of a sharply curving passage just visible in the dawn light. The exasperated butler snatches the invitation from your hands. Remember, your invitation only lasts one day. It is a warning, but sounds a little wistful. He propels you forward to join the court in its procession. You emerge, a little tender, to the morning. So far, the Albion things I've seen are more horrifying than any giant hive of singing bees made more horrifying for potentially being created on purpose. Yes, that is a really good way that sums up how I feel about Albion 2. Whereas the High Wilderness is terrifying because it is this unthinkable things in nature, Albion is terrifying because almost everything was done on purpose. Like, the Clockwork Sun was built by people. It also drives people insane. The old sun was destroyed to replace it with the Clockwork Sun. There's Perdurance, for example, a never-ending day that repeats itself forever so that people never age. It's just never-ending sequences of, oh god, why? The morning room is a grander version of the parlor, presided over by the orate Duchess in her pink and purple silks. Dowagers of varying stateliness and aplomb take tea and converse in low tones. Other debutantes reply to correspondence, writing notes in elegant scripts and affixing them with sealing wax. Meanwhile, chaperones give orders to the servants and see to Perdurance's household accounts. The light is a flushed yellow, autumnly ripe. Probably not going to be able to charm the servants. Search for Wilma. Somewhere in Perdurance, there is a rat. Heck yes, let's find Wilma. A bored chaperone answers your question. Oh, the little fat one. No, she'll only come out later. Her owner doesn't wake up until the afternoon. Hidden in your sleeves, Cinders quivers with indignation. Right, well, we gotta find something to do for the morning. Seems like the only thing that we can do is effectively is charm the chaperones. Try to win favor with both the servants and the debutantes. Yeah. Wait, what? I had a 100% chance of success. How did I get a partial success? That doesn't make any sense. I guess it does count as a success. The chaperones are more than servants, but decidedly less than debutantes. You are a first-hand witness to their awkward position. A servant makes the claim of impropriety towards the debutante, who laughs it off. A chaperone hurries over to prevent the incident from escalating into a scene, but there are no witnesses. She casts you an imploring look. The consequences will be far less for you, a visitor only here for one day, than for her, who must remain here always. Who will you support? Support the servant. Revolution. Revolutionary by heart. Workers' rights. That's right. The debutante flushes and is escorted away by the chaperone. They will miss the evening's ball. The servant thanks you before the chaperone ushers them back to work. Aha, we have the servant's favor. Okay, move onward. One of the dowager duchesses rings a bell. Conversation halts with practiced suddenness. Morning is over. Everyone arrays themselves in a procession according to their station. The dowager duchesses at the front, debutantes just behind, then chaperones and visitors, and the servants bringing up the rear. There is much jostling for position within each group, according to rules that you cannot begin to fathom. You enter the narrow and twisting passage, stumbling in the enveloping darkness as the debutantes giggle and shout. With each step, the shrieks of hours being spun backwards resonates through your body, leaving you shaky and worn. You emerge, blinking, into the dazzle of afternoon. Here, the curtains are pulled back with tasseled ropes, allowing the clockwork sun to spill its stark gold into the dining room. The long table is set with rows of gleaming china dinner plates, patterned with delicate florals. Silver cutlery, polished to a high shine, gleams atop the pristine tablecloth. Servants pour endless glasses of watered wine or carry in the next in a stream of elaborate dishes. Convince Wilma to speak to the brigade. A plump white rat sits in a little golden cage. A dandy is idly feeding her slivers of camembert. He's happy for you to confer with his pet. Ugh. This will advance the story, but failure may impact Wilma's part in it. Oof. Well, 52%, that's better than half. Yeah. Wilma patters from the dandy's palm to yours. Her whiskers twitch as Albrecht emerges from her sleeve. You're here for my part on the number? Albrecht nods solemnly. Wilma presses close to him. That is German. I don't speak German. Dein schöner sind ungeflecht, mein Lieber, she whispers. I'm sorry for anyone who speaks German for what I just did to that language. Your sleeve twitches, and Cinders pokes her head out. Wilma jumps. Neither speaks. Albert clears his throat. There's still a place for you, Wilma. Wilma's nose twitches. I'd like to hear that from her. After a pause, Cinders inclines her head. Wilma sniffs. That'll do. For now. As you turn, the dandy stands. I say, won't you give me something for my rat? A kiss. A terrifying story. Or your sympathy. How can he bear to live in this prison? A terrifying story. I don't know what he would want. I mean, I have a lot of terrifying stories. I was just at the circus, and there was some donkeys there that let me tell you. But I don't know if that would. Yeah. Oh, I gained terror. Terror. Okay. I thought that would take away one of my tales of terror, but oh well. The dandy's chartreuse green eyes widen as you recount your adventures among the stars. He is caught between wonder and horror. When you finish, he shivers and says how glad he is to live here in Perdurance, where, he assures you, he is exceedingly happy. We found Wilma. Talk to the Rat Brigade on board your engine. Wilma's aboard. Move onwards. The Dowager Duchess gives a small nod, and the entire company rises as one. The passage opens behind the china cabinet, and the procession forms once more. You take a breath, step into the close, stifling darkness, trying not to fall behind as the passage contorts and coils. With each step, the shrieks of hours being spun backwards resonates through your body, leaving you shaking in mourn. Again. You spot a figure masked in the featureless black, their face covered by a smooth oval of polished obsidian. Who are they? It is an enormous relief to spill out into an evening at the Grand Ballroom. Everyone finds their place without a murmur. Courtly life is resumed, almost as though the terrors you just experienced never existed. Hanging from the Grand Ballroom ceiling is a vast ormolu gasolier, its spidery arms decked with cut crystal drops. It casts soft yellow brightness onto the masked dancers below. As they whirl across polished parquet floor, music blends with the hum of genteel conversation and the stiff swish of starched crinolines. The half-light mask is in full swing, and there is barely room to stand, much less move. Well, the only thing that I've got, I guess. The chaperones wear drab versions of the debutantes' masks, animals patterned in the shades of brown and gray. They prowl the ball, ensuring that no one is getting too friendly. You happen to be nearby when one of the debutantes is caught beneath a table with a servant. As the chaperones are berating them, you realize how mortified the lovers are at being caught in such a deshabille. Deshabille? Never heard that one before. You shrug off an outer layer and offer it to... So, I already have favor with the servant, so I wonder if I should get favor with the debutantes as well, just to have both. Play both sides. I don't really want to screw over the servant, but I would like to have favor. The debutante accepts your garment gracefully and strategically positions it. They give a tight-lipped, nearly smile. They won't forget this. Yeah, this game has a very deep thesaurus. One of the chaperones approaches you as the evening ends. She has one blue eye and one green. I need your help, she says. Ooh. Oh. You're trusted by both the servants and the debutantes. That is rare indeed. It inclines me to hope that you may be admirable. Thus, I ask you for a favor. You're a traveler. I trust something to your care. Without a pause, she pushes her fingers into her own eye socket and pulls the eye out with a wet pop. She holds it out to you expectantly. Are you expected to take this? Wait. On closer inspection, the eye is glass, although the iris is inlaid with emerald and jet, flecked with gold. My family committed themselves to the Brabazon work world to pay off their debts. This will buy years off their service. I beg you, take it to them. You wrap the chaperone's eye in your cuff. Perhaps, if you're traveling that way. Interesting. I do need to go back there at some point. Move onwards. The music stops. Somewhere below, a mechanical rumble can be heard as the hour looms begin spinning Perdurance's one perfect, perpetual day all over again. One of the blacked-out ballroom windows opens to reveal the passage back to the parlor at dusk, or perhaps dawn. The keening of the hours as they are spun backwards makes your legs weak and your heart pound. You feel unaccountably wearied. You spot a figure masked in a featureless black, their face covered by a smooth oval of polished obsidian. Who are they? You enter the parlor through the portrait of the Empress and limp away. Sore-footed from the dancing and stumbling through the dark. Behind you, the members of the Court of Perdurance chatter and take tea, and make ready to begin their day anew. For tonight, and every night thereafter, is the Half-Light Mask. Okay, I see. So we end up with different things at the end of the day, depending on if we have more impression with one group than the other, but we have equal amounts. So Chaperone taps me on the shoulder. Never let it be said that you allowed class to dictate the breadth of your friendships. The chaperones murmur quiet congratulations, remarking how your presence smoothed what is often a difficult day. They do hope you'll return. You leave richer in gossip and soothed by the distractions of the Half-Light Mask. We are briefly without terror. Apparently I had 2 invitations to the ball, to the mask. But I think I'll leave that there for now, because I don't have anything else to do at the moment. I do, now that I know where Perdurance is, I can go pick up the princess and bring her here, because she wanted to see it too. Oh, they're only selling Ministry-approved literature. Okay. Well, I got another level. Level 8 now. What do we need? We seem to be getting a lot of challenges for hearts that we are having trouble with, so let's focus on that. That's a good one we could do here. Also increase our mirrors or our veils. Pestilence. Since arriving in the heavens through the avid horizon, you have contracted an unlikely illness. You are turning imperceptibly, slowly, into glass. The progress of the disease has halted for now, but where has it taken root? Beside your heart, your breast has become translucent and allows an educational, if distressing, view of your coursing veins and thumping heart. You take pains to conceal it, or in your lungs. You suffer from a perpetual hoarse cough and occasionally expel clouds of emerald sand into your handkerchief. Well, I'm sure it's horrifying, but coughing green sand is kind of cool. Alright, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is 8 out of 8 locations in Albion. We found everything. There might be another transit relay somewhere. But for the time being, it doesn't really matter right now. So we do need to go back to the sequencer at the Clockwork Sun. And I do have to... I guess, yeah, I could go to the Clockwork Sun, Royal Society, hit the Mausoleum. Alright, we'll see you later, P.O. And then maybe back up to London. But, yeah, for now, we'll head over to the Clockwork Sun. God, I hate that noise. I don't know what the lightning sound is. never heard that before, but the other noise is definitely from a scribe, a paper ghost. I haven't been able to see yet. Let's just get out of here. And the unmistakable creaking of leather as well. A 69 experience. Trying to click and drag to move the camera, but you can't do that on this game. I haven't even been playing a game that you can do that in. I don't know where that behavior is coming from. Oh, I guess another thing that we did last week that I forgot to mention is we picked up another mascot. It's a cat. He is not good. He falls off of high things. He gets stuck in vents. He sits at the exterior hatch and yowls to be left out. To be let out. He's yours, though. You suppose. But our current mascot is a mushroom man. We paid his tab in a bar and he joined us. Yeah, this is definitely the Clockwork Sun. The sky is full of broken glass. Bright night benefice. Probably shouldn't fly too close to it, because then that's a good way to go insane. The Clockwork's scavenging at the dawn rats. A nervous face whispers to you from behind a bulkhead. They don't sell supplies here. I guess I could scrounge for supplies. That's only 50% though. Failure. Hours pass before your crew members return. Laden with dusty parcels, the leader now walks with the aid of a stick. The Dawn Rat is not with them. Well, you can write a port report. The strength of the sun is still at 55. It has been going down since we found it. We gotta go talk to the sequencer in Azimuth. Complete your charitable assignment. Hand settles on your shoulder. From here on out, the coffers of Azimuth are dedicated entirely to the betterment of mankind, says the sequencer breathlessly. Together we'll bring light to even the darkest regions of Albion. I hope you'll join me in a hymn. Without waiting for your answer, he launches into a breathless hymn. You don't know the words, but you do a creditable job of mumbling along. From now on, the sequencer will follow your words of advice when making his donations to charity. Let's see where else he needs stuff delivered. Oh, okay. To Wartburly, Juxtamare. Soon enough, the people of Albion will look up at the sky and sun in the sky and see a giver of warmth and life and kindness. something they can rely on, just like the old days. He flashes you his most sincere smile and bids you a good journey. They're selling munitions here, but I don't think I need those for anything. Avid Horizon. I don't even remember where the Avid Horizon is. Fireworks for Parliament. Oh, I actually need these. Well, let's load up. Well, that's no good. I'm gonna have to dump some supplies, I think. Can't buy anymore. I'm all full. Let's get rid of some supplies. And these hours, I don't really need them. And I can buy more fuel. Don't know if I needed to go to the Royal Society for anything. But, oh, I can get a port report on there. I think I did already, and I never turned it in. So that should... Miscellaneous... Yeah. Yeah, I do have one. Okay. Let's get out of this nightmare zone. I don't know what it is about the Clockwork Sun that I love so much. It's just... as opposed to something Lovecraftian being, you know, dark and mysterious, this is something that is, you know, pointedly something very bright. It is very bright, very, not in the shadows. It is, you know, the one thing that is most noticeable in the sky in this area. But it is also something unbelievably horrifying. Who are you? You have a weapon? Sure doesn't seem like it. Oh, there he goes. Let's... well, we do have room in the hold, so let's see what we can get. Okay. Some supplies, always nice. Gotta take the long way around to get to the Royal Society. Sure hope they sell fuel there. They could be in trouble. I think I got attacked the last time I went this way, too. I like the atmospheric little tug-a-lug of your engine as you travel. It's something that you would think, you know, would get kind of tiresome after a while, but it just, when you're out in the middle of nowhere and it's the only sound that you can really hear, it's nice. It sets the scene. To the Royal Society. Alright, I have to back my way into this one. Let's go to the Eyrie. Port. That's what I want. I know there's something that we got. We got some kind of quest from the Royal Society, but I don't remember exactly what it was. Or maybe we didn't get an actual quest from here. We just kind of hung out for a while. Now they do sell fuel. Excellent. So yeah, we'll swing back down to the mausoleum, and we can slap our way back up to London, and then maybe even take a trip back to Albion, or to the Reach, and deal with some of the quests that we've got, because we've got a bunch. We've got stuff to do at Carillon. We gotta talk to the owner of Magdalen's. I'd also like to go to Magdalen's to try and deal with some of the nightmares that I've got. We gotta go to Hybris again. Check in on our mining operation on Lustrum. So we got a bunch of stuff that we can do back in the Reach. So it might be worth checking out. Oh, I think this is the one. I think this is the quest we got from the Royal Society. They want us to find the sigil, which could be found at the Mausoleum, the Trader's Wood, or Pawn. And I have no idea where that is. Presumably that is in either the Blue Kingdom or Eleutheria. We also have to pick somebody up from Eagle's Empyrean, which, again, no clue where that is. And deliver someone to New Winchester. Okay, so we got a few things to do. Before we do that, though, I want to talk to our rats. We found Wilma. Speak to the Rat Brigade. They have Wilma's part of the account number. Who's next? Cinders knocked back a shot of something unspeakable. We have to decide. A medic, Vianne, or a demolitions rat, Angel. They refuse to work together. Lord knows why the lieutenant kept them in the same unit, though he did have a sponge for brains and managed to bungle the betraying us all, so I would venture stupidly, Cinders scowls. Anyway, Sarge knew we couldn't keep them both. Told me while he was scammered on the gin. Gave both of them the same number. Wilma scampers forward. Vianne's an old friend. She's at Magdalen's. She won't leave until she knows they can manage without her. We'll need to give them a condemned experiment. Angel's completely barking, but if you want him, he'll want a party thrown in his honor. Munitions or some inspiration on our part. Up to you. We shouldn't choose between comrades. Well, we do have to go back to Magdalen's anyway. So that seems like a good place to go. We'll swing by the mausoleum. I think the Royal Society is kind of tucked in this little section here, so we have to go all the way around to get out. Having more cargo space really makes this game a lot easier. Like a ranged dreadnought. These guys aren't as scary as they look. Or sound. They do have what looks like a gun on the top, but the only weapon I've ever seen them fire is that, like, rapid fire one. Of which we actually have one. We managed to loot one from one of the wreckages that we got. Loot the hold. A marked box. Fragile contents. Do not shake, upend, or discommode. Hey. A set of golden scales slides out of the knife open box. It takes 3 of you to lift, 6 to carry. Lapis lazuli shines in the base. Complex diagrams of constellations circle the pans like the rings of planets. Cool. That stuff is always welcome to have. That's another enemy that's caught up in the rocks up there, so I'm just going to ignore him. London falters here. Yep, still don't have a saying. So we should be coming up. Yeah, there it is. So that is the dead sun beneath us here. Under the mausoleum. It is the remnants of the natural sun that used to be in the sky before it was destroyed and replaced with the clockwork sun. How? I don't know. But that's what they tell me. My aunt is still here. Oh, she has claimed some favor with the Deathless. She has been busy terrorizing the more senior members of the Mausoleum's permanent guests. Your aunt has accumulated a terrifying stack of information, charmed, flattered, and occasionally blackmailed from the other Deathless. She is, as ever, circumspect as to her exact methodology. As it happens, she says over a cup of horribly sweet tea, the Counselor did remember me. You're becoming known to the deathless few interred at the most serene mausoleum. You have gained their favor. Continue. Continue getting favor. I have no idea what that entails, if that's a good thing or not, but let's sell this crockery. Hey, we got another invitation to Perdurance. They're selling rolls of thirsty bombazine. So thirsty. As well as fuel and supplies. Might as well. Attend a deathless funeral. Yeah, spend $100. Former civil servant is generous in his divestment. His lands he divides among his lovers. His titles are given to the most obsequious of his children. His winding sheets are lavish, as is the endowment of hours bestowed upon him. The macabre counselor takes him by the hand and leads him away to his new tomb, but not before conveying her thanks to all present. One day, she implies, it might be you being so honored. We've gained more of their favor. Aha, look for the inscribed Tinkerer's sigil. You follow the Tinkerer's instructions. A quiet window off a landing below the upper vault. Far below, mourners and courtiers, all in black silk, wander the nave like a host of spiders. You take out a magnifying glass provided and turn your attention to the walls. Some quick thinking on your engineer's part doused the worst of your flames. The correspondence often has spectacular side effects. Your notebook has survived, with your drawings of the many, many identical broken sigils that adorn the gallery that looks out over the dead star below. We've discovered the Tinkerer's sigil. Return to her at the Royal Society. Huh. Well, that was easy. I expected to have to go much further than that, but I guess not. Get another port report. Contemplate the dead sun. We did that last time. Approach the deathless. I guess now that we have their favor, we might be able to do something. The most serene mausoleum houses more than just the prince consort. Under its soaring spires, the empress keeps her most favored courtiers. These lucky few are provided with every luxury they might wish, and a generous stipend of hours. The only condition of this bounty is that they are dead, a legality only. They cannot possess property nor hold political office as a result. They are the deathless. Occasionally, they deign to appear to visitors. Entertain a request from the macabre counselor. Invitation to dine. Speak with the macabre counselor. Speak with the dismal chamberlain. Let's speak with the dismal chamberlain. It looks interesting. Your attempts to meet with the chamberlain are met with relentless obfuscation. His secretary reschedules the meeting 8 times, eventually arranging it 6 days ago. You even try waiting all day outside the chamberlain's office, but he does not appear. His duties include regulation of time in the mausoleum, where the deathless wallow in generous pensions of hours. However, the clocks are not keeping the same time. Has something happened? Finally, you manage to corner the engraved mourner and press him for answers. The chamberlain is no longer in residence, he replies curtly. We don't dwell on the matter. We suggest you follow suit. Okay. %53 chance of success. Well, we haven't begun this story, so let's do this one. Into the dark. Several footmen are on hand to escort you from the nave and through the oak-paneled doors that lead down into the catacombs of silence where the macabre counselor resides. Black candles burn in silver candelabras. Fine fading tapestries molder on the walls. In glass cabinets, bones of saints and sinners are displayed with gloomy relish. The macabre counselor is in a maudlin mood, regaling you with stories of her youth and musing wistfully on past regrets. I have only one worth mentioning, my daughter. The Empress saw fit to take her from me as punishment, I suppose. She could be terribly petty. She could be terribly petty, could Vicky. She examines you speculatively. I wish to have my daughter returned to me. Fulfill this commission, and I shall bequeath upon you a great reward. Let's do it. She is a hostage at Perdurance, kept to ensure my discretion. She hands you several charcoal sketches of her daughter, a pretty, presumptuous heiress with dark eyes and a curly lock of her brown hair. I have an agent set in place to assist and conceal my daughter's escape. You will need invitations to access the half-light mask to effect a rescue. I have only 3 to hand. It is likely you will need to secure more. Your mind returns to her use of the word hostage. An odd choice. Perdurance is said to be a place of endless delights, where the children of society's elite dally in luxury. Surely it shouldn't be too much trouble to rescue one spoiled, presumptuous heiress from the lap of opulence, even if it is, as it were, the Empress's lap. Well, we already know better, don't we? Alright, I think we've done about all we need to do here. Although we could investigate the Chamberlain's disappearance. The other Deathless studiously avoid the topic of the Chamberlain's disappearance, talking around it as one might talk around indelicate matters in polite company. Missing? No, he is indefinitely indisposed. Their polite silence is impossible to break. They change the subject with consummate skill. Perhaps you'll have more luck getting them to open up after more time has passed, and the Chamberlain's continued absence becomes impossible to ignore. Alright, let's get out of here. We do need to go back to Brabazon, but we can hit that place up before we go to the Reach. So for now, to London. This is a very large graveyard. Although I do really like the aesthetic of just like a floating graveyard. Boy, that guy didn't stand a chance. Stripper for parts. Is he just gonna leave me alone? Huh. Somehow I avoided that one. Not sure how. Or it just didn't play the aggro noise. Oh, there it is. He's trying to get me, but I don't think he's fast enough. We got speed, son. Did I? No, I haven't upgraded any other parts that much more yet. Although I'd probably have the money to. I'm only going to be getting more money once I turn in these port reports. Still don't know what the deal is with this place. sidle our way into London's enormous train station. Enough tea to fuel the sun. I might actually be able to do that one. What do I have for tea? We got 2. And a rat. A retronaut. Oh wait, where did I need to take those? Zealous Undersecretary. So that... Floating Parliament. Oh, I need to go to Parliament. To the west of London. Okay. Okay. First things first. We gotta go to the yards and turn in our port reports to this guy. Stalwart bookkeeper. Get another 500 sovereigns for a total of 2020. Nice. I don't really need any of that stuff, so whatever. How much money do I need for this thing? 6,000. That's a big boy. I want it. But for now, we might be able to buy some more upgrades for our ship. Let's see what we got room for here. I need 50 iron for that. Oh, that's a weapon. I mean, I might just buy more bronzewood shielding at this point. Just give us more health, because we got the 2 slots for it, so we might as well. Might also just buy this assaying device just to have it. Stick it in the vault for now. Along with all my other stuff. Load up fuel and supplies. Then the Parliament lies west of London. So it must be around here. I haven't actually found the Parliament yet. Let's go see. We found the Throne of Hours. But I don't know where Parliament is. That's the Throne of Hours. We don't want to go there. Ow. There's nothing for us there. Oh, that was weird. The text appeared and then faded out instead of the other way around. That's not supposed to happen. Upper bottom kitchen. To the west. I wonder if it's not, like, actually in here. Because the Tower of Chimes is where it might actually be in there. That's where Big Ben is. It would make sense that Parliament would be there. We might have to go deeper. Floating Parliament. Must be. Yeah, because Parliament sure as hell isn't going to be here in the middle of Brabazon. Guess we might as well stop in while we're here. Deliver this glass eye. We don't need that, but we can go to the bit between. What's that? Attempt to converse with an overseer. Alright, so let's do this tour of Brabazon, which we've done before. So we'll get a carriage clock. So they force us to stay with the tour. Admire the rugs. Smile at the workers. Yeah, everything is very, very fake. We want to sneak away from the group. Alright, we've officially moved away from the group, so this is new stuff here. So the shanties are pressed close together. There are no more streets, only cramped alleys. Their few windows are clogged with filth. Grimy workers trudge from work to home, eating as they go. Time is precious here. Minutes not spent at work are given to sleep. Aha. This is how I get a port report. Use nearly half our time. Let's explore the true Brabazon. A thin, determined girl pulls a handcart along the street. Lying in the back is a rag-wrapped corpse. Many fail to pay off their debts at the work world and end their days here. Should the deceased have any debt still owing, it will now become the responsibility of his descendants and relatives. Well, where is this person that I need to find? I can't give charity even. So I guess let's rejoin the tour. Let's finish the tour. Converse with an overseer? No. Suppose I'll try talking to the governor and see if that makes any difference. Oh, here we go. Deliver the chaperone's bequest. I guess it was easier than I thought. You're directed to a modest desk in a confined office in a shabby corner of the mansion. A brisk secretary greets you and offers you tea. A formality, not a genuine offer. The chaperone's jeweled eye is heavy in your pocket. Deposit the eye is requested. She examines the artificial eye critically. We'll have to get it professionally assayed, of course. Its market value will determine the amount of time by which the service can be reduced. At that point, the residents in question will have to decide how the reduction will be divided among them. If a dispute occurs, the cost of legal resolution will be deducted from the value of the bequest. She drops the eye into a drawer. We'll take care of it. She completes and stamps an elaborate series of forms, then hands them to you. They are labyrinthian and baroque, exactly the sort of thing you could use to befuddle some overworked junior official. 2 ministry stamp permits. Oh! Wow, that's actually huge. Those are hard to get. Cool. Alright. Let's get out of here. I suppose we'll see if we could find floating parliament and then head back to the Reach. Yeah, ministry stamp permits are hard to get. That's a big deal. We need those. I need 3 of them to release. We've got a quest going for... Hold on, I need to break open a coffin. For 58 bucks. But we have a quest going. Where is it? Reading the half glass. There is somebody imprisoned at the Clockwork Sun who has turned half to glass. And we need 3 Ministry of Stamp permits to release them. And presumably they would become a crew member, which would be kind of cool. Or maybe something else. But what's interesting is that in our last level up, we took Pestilence. And sure enough, we seem to be suffering from the same affliction. We are turning to glass, just like that other person. Solidarity. Gotta get him out of there. See if we can find a cure. Or maybe I caught it from him. Who knows? Oh god. Oh god. Ugh. The other locomotives up here have very poor senses of everything. His own self, a crewman sniffs. The very biggest of bends. Yeah, there it is. Let's see if there's a parliament floating around here. It says west of London, so it's probably north of here. Oh goodness. It's very angry crystal boys. Sure doesn't look like there's going to be anything up here. Oh, hold up. Fatalistic signalman was looking at the ruins of Parliament. There is something here. Floating Parliament. Sure enough, I was already right in the middle of it. Go figure. Whoops. Accidentally shot the dog. Alright. The The ancient palace drifts through the void, a monument to British democracy and the greatness it believes it brought to the high wilderness. An elderly guard watches with suspicion as you dock, but relaxes at the sight of fellow Londoners. The Empress shipped the Houses of Parliament brick by brick from old London to the high wilderness to help her govern. Okay, well, first things first. I got your munitions here. Thank you. There's solid supplies and nostalgic crockery, which we don't need. I'll get some more supplies while I'm here, I guess. Let's see what else is here. It didn't take long for her to grow weary of the questioning of her authority and have it severed from London. Parliament now drifts free in this distant corner of the sky. It continues to pass laws, but hardly anyone pays attention. Compile a report. While the palace is off limits to most, there are always ministers and civil servants whose busy schedules allow for a moment for a free drink. You ask the obvious question. What is the point of Parliament when Her renewed Majesty never gives her assent to any of its proposed laws? They bristle. Tyrants fall. Democracy endures. Smiling, nervous young people greet you as you disembark. Excuse us, the man in the yellow rosette calls. Excuse me, a minute of your time. The smiling man wearing the yellow rosette cuts in first. Captain, join our campaign to celebrate Albion and restore old-school patriotism to the land by officially renaming Wednesday as Victoria's Day. Praise Her renewed Majesty for all she has. The smiling woman wearing the green rosette effortlessly cuts in. For killing democracy, for our subjugation. No, Captain, we must make a stand for freedom. We must show the Empress that we will not sit idle. Join us as we triumphantly rename her precious Victoria sponge to the people's cake. They look at you with hungry expectancy. Vote in opposition to the Empress. Always. The two scribble down your answer. Thank you, says the woman with the green rosette, and turns to her opposing number. One for me, a clear majority. Too bad that nobody's listening, mutters the man in the yellow rosette. The two disappeared towards the palace, where no new laws have been made into the books in years. Well, okay. Let's see what these people are protesting. Parliament has little power, but at least there is a chance it might listen. That is more than the protesters can expect of the throne of ours. The protesters raise their voices with a spirit of camaraderie and a united belief that words can still make the world a better place, with neither anger in their words nor violence in their demands. At 3 on the dot, a huge portcullis opens and the protesters are served tea, scones, and little cucumber sandwiches cut into triangles. That sounds lovely. A little recognition of the protesters' ongoing service to this most vital part of British democracy. Join the protest. You scream until hoarse, wave borrowed placards, and invent witty slogans that trip off the tongue and are quickly picked up by those around you. The world does not seem notably better place as a result of all this protesting. Still, even a tiny ripple has the potential to become a tidal wave. You have marginally raised awareness of whatever your cause was. Maybe. Good enough. Let's check out Trader's Green. The replanted gardens are a pleasant place to enjoy a walk, though the buildings are out of bounds to casual visitors. The Empress's gate is particularly fortified by a heavy chain and a padlock too rusted to ever be unlocked. A few protesters are taking a break to picnic on the lawn, away from the guards. Braver, or more foolhardy ones, sit on the aisle's edge, swinging their legs over the sky as they eat their sandwiches. It's near them that you spot the fellow in the suit, swaying uncertainly. His footsteps have taken him precariously close to the edge. Nobody seems to have noticed. Run over to help. He sees you coming. Startled, he steps back, and with a drunken cry is gone, over the edge. And soon, little but a dot in the swirling clouds of the wilderness. A small army of civil servants soon swarms from the nearest gate, staring over the edge, agreeing what appalling timing and manners the fellow had, and already arguing over whether the most appropriate memorial would be a bronze plaque on a bench or a new ficus somewhere within the parliamentary halls. A tap on your shoulder distracts you. A tall clerk flanked by two clay men. "Excuse us." He glances you up and down. "Yes, very suitable. A moment of your time." Oh my god, I'm becoming a politician. He sits at a huge mahogany desk in a prestigious Downing corridor. Your conversation doesn't distract him from writing notes in the margins of endless pieces of paperwork. He pauses his scribbling only to sip from a large cup of stone-cold tea, or to scratch his head with the pen's long silver nib. He looks down his nose at you with the grim expression of a headmaster waiting for an excuse to break out his favorite birch rod. "Ah, the captain. A moment. Do take a seat. Tea? Ah, yes, I will call for some tea. The loss of our dear minister for..." He hesitates, covertly checking a file. "The Brabazon work world, yes, is a tragedy. But we must move on. You seem just the sort I'm looking for. Lucid. Breathing. Have you considered a career in politics?" He holds up a hand. "No, I do not care about history or affiliations. A bum in the chair will suffice. The Department of Albion Affairs would be a suitable starting point, if you are interested. I will set the wheels in motion." I've been invited to become an MP. Oh my god. Well, okay. I don't have anything else to do here, I guess. So it seems like it's a good time to move on. I only have 3 fuel, so I might have to stop at Brabazon at the bit between again, just to refuel, and then hop up to the Reach Transit Relay again. Also, apparently I miscounted. Ow. The achievement for finding all of the ports in Albion was giving me a progress out of 8. Or maybe it was out of 9. I think it was out of 9. And I had gotten 8 of them. But upon finding Parliament, I have now found all 9 ports, and I got the achievement. So we officially know where everything is in Albion. I still don't know if we found everything in the Reach. I think there was a couple locations that we still never found. And then we still haven't been to the Blue Kingdom or Eleutheria yet. For now... Actually, I'm going to go see what it takes to get back to the Reach, because I might not even have the supplies to get there. Hello, Hydra. I'm doing pretty well. I'm deep in the heart of London right now, about to break open a coffin. Oh, a ministry-approved literature. Cool. I have officially located all the ports in Albion. I'm about to head back to the Reach at this point, because I've got a bunch of stuff I need to go back. Didn't play it, don't know what's going on. Well, it's kind of a... You kind of play along with all the stories. So I got a lot of stuff going on. My journal is a mess at the moment. I've got like a million different quests going. I just apparently became a politician. Did Nobody even asked, I just kind of became one. So there's that. For now, I gotta go present yourself to customs. We don't have any contraband. Travel to the Reach, first class. Oh, that would cost me a ministry stamped permit, which I want to keep. 200 sovereigns, we can afford that. Yeah. Yeah. Enclosed in your engine's pocket of hours, it's hard to say how long the passage will take. Unseasoned hours tend to be melancholy and anxious. Your journey is likely to be wearying. The machinery grinds and stirs, the steam vents, the sigils of the edifice burn with sullen fire. A force like a great hand seizes your engine. So we're heading back to the Reach. We've gained 5 terror, and it is not the date that it was. Zap. We still have a lot of things to do in Albion, but it has been a while since we've been in the Reach. And there are plenty of things for us to do here, too. We don't have a lot of terror, but my nightmares are getting kind of bad, so I want to go to Magdalen's to try and deal with that. Plus, I got stuff to do in Magdalen's anyway. Port Prosper, all I really need from you is fuel. Yeah, the gameplay of the Sunless games is not particularly deep, or it can be kind of challenging. More toward the beginning than toward the end. Like I've already upgraded our locomotive once, so we've got way more cargo space, and we've got pretty decent equipment, so I'm in pretty good shape as far as, you know, being out in the wilderness. But these games have always been more about the story and the kind of the adventure and the narrative and the atmosphere. These games, if you like kind of not really spooky but unsettling atmosphere, the Sunless games are amazing. They're full of it and very well written. There's a lot of stuff in this game that is just very deeply unsettling for many reasons. An outbreak of the heart sickness. Oh no, a mysterious outbreak of nostalgia spreading through the crew. We do have lots of supplies. Let's do that. The crew attend reluctantly, but once the brandy has been passed around, you manage to get them telling tales of their recent adventures, of their narrow escapes and their small triumphs. It's still reminiscent, but at least it's on fresher fare than those rose-hued days of their youth. This is a world in which things like nostalgia and time don't really work the way that you think they do. Time especially. Hours are mined from the ground, which are then processed and woven and become time. And so time can be manipulated really quite easily. Earlier in the stream, we found a place in which they are perpetually living the same day over and over again. Magdalens. It's been too long since I've been here. Write a port report, as usual. And we got to talk to the amenable host. So the amenable host, a long time ago, sent us on a mission to discover his identity, because he couldn't remember who he was. So he sent us to go find out who that was. So we went to a few different ports, asked around. We didn't find any decent evidence, so we've come back to give him the bad news. The amenable host closes his hands around his returned locket. Now it comes to it, I'm not sure I want to know, but I've sent you out. He drums his fingers against his cup. We don't spare our guests the truth, so why should I be any different? He fills goblets for you both. Well, out with it. Oh boy. So, we get to choose. So, on each of the 3 locations that I went to, they gave a different story as to who he was. So I could basically tell him any one of those 3. Or I could tell him the truth and say that he was not any of them. Or just tell him that I found nothing conclusive and he can choose which one he wants to be. This is interesting. So, on Lustrum, he was apparently shot dead and survived. On New Winchester, he was a factory owner. And in Port Prosper, he continued the work of the Parlor of Virtue. I mean, I don't want to lie to this guy. Tell him that he was any of these things. If I'm going to tell him the truth, I found nothing conclusive. Which would he prefer to have been? He gazes at you for a long, solemn minute. Abruptly, he stands and removes 2 polished glasses and a filled decanter from a box in the wall. He places one glass before you and fills it deep. I suppose I should commend your nerve in giving me that answer. He fills his own glass and finishes it with one swift swig. My own self, cindered ash in the kiln of my ambition. He gives you a crooked smile. So goes the teaching of Magdalens. He goes to a drawer and takes out a sealed envelope. For all your trouble, I am who I have chosen to be. I have that, at least. Well, we got $500 for that. Oh, we don't have a condemned experiment? Oh no, I thought I still had one. I don't know where I'm going to get one of those from. I might have to go hunting. Or go looking around for some other stuff. Because there is... part of our crew members is a brigade of rats. But recently we got one of their other crew members from Perdurance in Albion. And here we have come to find another Vians. But we need a condemned experiment for this one, and I thought we still had some, but I think I sold them all. Ugh. Let's see, does he have anything else for me to do? No? Okay. Treat your nightmares. That's what I want to do. Here you can reduce your nightmares before they get worse. The more you use these treatments, the more expensive they will become. The attendants can only do so much. So an attendant waits to take your details and your payment. He asks only that you request the name of the person you wish to treat you. Your mother, or her renewed majesty. Yes, really. Well, I am... my character is a revolutionary. So screw the queen. Or the empress. At this point, I guess. Mother sits behind a screen today. Her head aches, she says, but is dismissive of any intimation of concern on your part. She wants only to hear your concerns. She has her knitting. I thought your engine could use a little color, she says. Hookah smoke emerges in billows from behind the painted screen. Good enough. They sell them supplies. Okay. Good God, what else did I have to do in the Reach? Pretty sure I needed to go... Yes, I need to go back to the circus as well, so... Might as well be on our way. We gotta get a condemned experiment from somewhere. I'm pretty sure there is some sort of NPC that I can trade one in for. I just don't remember who. Might be these guys, the Nature Reserve. Or maybe the Royal Society back in Albion. I can't remember. I guess the rest of our crew, our first officer is currently this guy, the Fortunate Navigator. We also have a clay conductor. He's a man made of clay. Our quartermaster is the Chiropterous Hoarder. He's a giant bat person. The Fatalistic Signalman is our signaler. The Rat Brigade is our engineers. And then our mascot is currently a mushroom person that I picked up from a bar by paying his tab. But we also have an urchin and a useless cat. So there's our current crew. We have some other crew members that are on shore leave at the moment, including the Queen Victoria's daughter. we got our fingers in a lot of different pies right now, let me tell you. South a little. But never mind that, we're going to the circus. Right here. Is that Polmir's? Sure is. Polmir and Plenty Circus. I have arrived. Oh, thank you, Hydra. I do my best. There was a whole bunch more people in the stream watching, but a lot of them are now doing Art Soup on my friend B-Drop's channel, and their own channels as well. Which I'll probably be raiding somebody at the end of this. But usually I've got them hanging out with me, if not on stream, in the chat or whatnot. But what am I here for? I'm here for the circus. Port report. We gotta go behind the tents because we are here to... Yeah, the magician wanted us to fix their equipment. So the magician inspects his equipment as thoroughly as a gunnery officer would their cannons before a long-awaited engagement. When he is satisfied that the panels do shut properly, and silently, he breathes a sigh of relief. It has been some time since I've been able to do anything worth a damn. I remember, back in those days, the people my performances would attract. His glance catches onto an old poster of himself. He requests you leave him alone to practice. Yeah, let's check with the ringmaster. Oh, no problem, Hydra. I'll catch you next time. The ringmaster is sat on a fat cushion, idly shuffling a worn pack of playing cards. He smiles wearily at you. I ask the cards about you. He draws from the top of the deck and sets them on the table. They say you can help. He then places them back into the deck and bids you to shuffle and draw yourself. Guards are the same. He smiles the same weary smile. Looks like they haven't changed their minds. Okay, accept a commission to reclaim the acrobat's twin or to post flyers for the strong woman. 6 of rats. The strong woman's act is to lift unusual objects brought in by the crowd. Problem is, no one knows they're supposed to bring something. The ringmaster leans under his desk to pick up a fat bundle of posters and drops them with a thud. We need these slapped all across Lustrum and Port Avon. I can do that. I haven't been to those places. Well, I've been to them before, but I haven't been to them since I got back. We're full up on crew, somehow. I do need... They only sell supplies. Well, sure. I do need to go to Hybris, too. But I'm not going to get there without fuel. Magdalene sells fuel, but I don't want to go back. Oh, I could go to Titania too. Oh, there's so much I have to do. I gotta go to Port Avon. I gotta go to Lustrum. Okay. I'm pretty sure Titanius sells fuel. So let's go there. Plus, I've been to London now, so I'll be able to suggest... Because Titania was destroyed by giant chorister bees. Giant singing bees. But they have been... There's a quest there to basically tell them which architectural style to rebuild in. And one of them is London, but you can only unlock those if you've actually been to those places. But now that I've actually been to London, I can suggest it. So let's go do that. The Archipelagian Empress. Enter through a yawning tear in the hull. We do need fuel. Let's go to the engine room. Oh. We're good. Oh, hello. I don't want to fight you. Just get out of here. Oh, the bees. Chorister bees. They're not that bad. They're not hostile. Unless you aggravate them. I am here to write a port report. Is there another quest here? Somewhere amidst the garrets and galleries of Titania hide the Midnight Rose. They make red honey in old London vice. The manner of its creation is a secret, but is rumored to require a breed of rose first grown in hell, bees, and memories harvested from caged subjects. Imbibing red honey allows you to live those memories, to ransack the contents of another's heart. Search for clues. Let's engage in the trade of gossip. You do a tour of the salons, buying trust with your enticing tales of courtly life and bohemian squabbles. A precarious descent of ladders leads down to the hideout of the Midnight Rose, a spiral of rickety platforms clinging to the great orchid stalk. There, the Rose have constructed an edifice of glass, something between an orangery and a cowshed. It hums with bees and shivers with sobbing. Midnight Rose are a close-knit coterie that produce precise vintages of red honey. If you want a taste of the bleak memories of an orphan and the excesses of a reckless libertine, they are able to provide. Their leader is an ethereal apiarist, whose laced gowns are stained at the hem with grass and soil. Bees crawl lazily in her wild hair. Terrifying. I do have this unlicensed chart that I bought for no reason, so let's turn it in. Get something interesting. You and the apiarist spend a coffee-fueled night combing your chart, plotting new hidden routes for the couriers to use. The way will be dangerous. You have had to favor circuitous, little-used paths plagued by the candlewind, but a dreadnought would never be able to traverse them. The ethereal apiarist is pleased. The gloomy middleman probably won't be, but might be slightly less miserable. You'd better deliver the good news to him. Alright, a new start for Titania. Okay, so yeah, so we can decide to have them rebuild Titania in either the Albion style or the Eleutherian aesthetic. I've never been to Eleutheria, I have no idea how to get there, so I'm going to advocate for Albion. The stone-faced sculptor is quick to capitalize on this moment of agreement. Before the day is out, the docks will at least have a familiar Albion look to them. The rest of the port will take a little longer before it is ready for expansion. Each captain in your lineage will be able to choose another expansion for Titania until the port is completed. You can also donate to its progress to continue expanding it with a single captain, but this will get more expensive as development continues. The more you expand the port, the more bargains, prospects, and other opportunities will be made available, with individual buildings offering one boon per captain. Pay for all port repairs. 50 sovereigns, that's nothing for me. Meet with the Rhapsodic Mayor. Okay, that's the same things that we had before. What do they sell here? Fuel and supplies. Well, let's load up. Huh. And so that actually changes the dock here to be like the Albion style, like metal and woodwork, I think. I don't think that's what it looked like before. I could be wrong. At least, I hope it changes the way that Titania actually looks, depending on what architecture style you use. Let's get out of here. I'm going to head up to Hybris, and then I'll call it for the night. Already gone a little bit over. But I want to... I've got so many plot lines, plot threads going at the same time, I just can't help myself. Your combat. Somebody's fighting. Oh, they might just be fighting that guy that I spawned when I checked that wreckage. That would be my guess. I've only been to Hybris once before, because it's kind of a pain to get to. It is also deep into this fungus territory. It's kind of awful. Oh god, it is really tucked in there, isn't it? Well, luckily we do have a fairly fast locomotive, faster than the one we used to have. Yeah, we got more than enough fuel to get us there. What's that? I need to reach Marauder. Easy. The hold. What did we get? Barrel of unseasoned hours. Yeah, alright. What? What? What is that? What is that noise? I have never heard that before. I don't like that. I don't like that. I've been here before and I still don't like that thing. Causes my terror to go up. My crew terror, I should say. There's Hybris already. I hate being up in this fungal hellscape. Good old Hybris. Search for prompt. Let's just join in their song. We'll bring our terror down a little bit by singing a song. Now, we do have another problem. Hybris seems to be deserted. The colonists' houses are dark, and there is no sign of a soul about. The smithy is empty. No smoke comes from the Brendan's chimneys. The fretwork on the town hall remains unfinished. A bee laced with curling fronds flies by. Its drone, the only sound in Hybris. Bright purple mushrooms dot the greenery. So the last time we were here, this place was full of people, but they were all covered in fungus. Where is everyone? The pernickety factor is alarmed. This is very disagreeable. I was expecting to find people here. Disappearing like this is extremely rude. You split up and make a quick circuit of the village. You discover tables laid out for dinner, cold tea still in Nance's pot. The notes, in large print, half written for the mayor's council meeting, laid out on his desk. You find the pernickety factor near the station. She holds up a piece of disintegrating mushroom that resembles a crocus. I found this near the town hall. There's a new field of them out in the forest. This is most irregular. Let's keep looking. Well, I guess let's write a report while we're here. Everyone's gone. And then explore the colony. Gardening seems to have become particularly popular lately. Wheelbarrows have been cobbled together to form cast-offs from the carpenter's workshop. Purple fungus-like crocuses dot the green. Meanwhile, food rots in the Brendan's larders, and the carpentry on the town hall is infected with creeping mushrooms. All recent work, aside from gardening, appears to have been abandoned altogether. The pernickety factor coughs away spores. There's a superior researcher on Leadbeater and Stainrod Nature Reserve who might be able to tell us more about these wretched mushrooms. Purple fungus sprouting all over Hybris is very similar to the ones Madame Lumiere was filming. Perhaps she may know something. I have a purple fungus on my crew. Is there anything left that I can use here? 3 fuel, 1 supply, 2 terror. That's pretty good. Pretty good trade-off. Let's wander Hybris. Apparently, there's still somebody here selling chorister nectar, so there's that. But in any event, that seems like a good place to wrap up for the evening. We've returned to the Reach. We've gone back to Hybris to find everyone missing. We got probably a whole bunch of other stuff to do here in the Reach, but we'll have to save that the next time. In the meantime, that is gonna be it for me. But that is not all that's going on. Lots of stuff going on throughout the week. Um, there's always something to watch, one way or another, and everyone's. I got links to everybody's pages down below, so there's always stuff going on. But in the meantime, I think what we'll do, B Drops has got Art Suit going on right now, which I usually raid them, but I think instead I'm gonna go ahead and raid Words. He's had a bit of a rough week, so I'll give him that. I don't know how many people are actually here, but we'll give him a raid and give him you know give him the love. But in any event, I will be back Tuesday with something new, starting up a new game. That should be a lot of fun. Something that I've played before and I enjoy a lot, and I'm eager to get back into it. And then I should be back again, maybe sometime other during the week, maybe Friday. If not, then I will be back next Sunday for more of this. And yeah, that'll be it for me. In the meantime, we will head on over to Words and see what he's drawing. If you want to see what everybody else is drawing, then there's Public Opinions also playing, doing art right now. Action Shakespeare, B Drops, they're all kind of playing together, so they're all in the same call. So we'll go check out what they're doing for now, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for joining me.